Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the Sports Centre. Arsenal Man City, the big game of the weekend. And I thought, although it was a low-scoring game, I thought it was quite a good game on the whole. I thought it was a show of how Man City have evolved this season. I think gone are the days of Pep's tiki-taka football, if you like. Don't get me wrong, Man City are still a world-class team in possession. They can keep a ball better than most teams do in the Premier League. But they go long now. Man City never used to go long, ever really. Whereas now, they've got that direct ball. They use Haaland. And I think an example of that was in the first half. There was pending a little bit. I don't know if it was from an Arsenal corner or something like that. Basically, there was a long ball. There was like a 2-on-2 on the halfway line. And Haaland just kind of used all his weight. He muscled into Gabriel. And City went on the break. I think it was with Foden and Reinders, I think it was. Or no, it might have been Doku. Doku ended up picking the ball, dribbling, and it come across. And the chance came away to nothing, really. But ultimately, what it is Man City, their style has changed this season, which brings me on to Arsenal. Now, great team Arsenal, don't get me wrong, but their style's not really changed. In the first half, I have to say, it was dull from an Arsenal point of view. You know, Man City knew exactly what Arsenal were going to do. And they had all the answers for that. Arsenal didn't know how to break City down. They didn't have the answers, which makes me think, are Arsenal that reliant on set pieces now to get the wins against your low block teams, if you like, you know, your teams that you find it hard to break down? We all know that Arsenal are excellent from corners and free kicks, dead ball situations, which led me to think like they got a lot of goals last season from set pieces. So I wanted to have a look. I wanted to see actually how many. So I've got the statistics here. So last season in the Premier League alone, Arsenal scored 19 goals from set pieces, which is quite a lot when you think about it. And I had a look at how many goals Arsenal had actually scored last season, and it was 69. So out of all Arsenal's goals in the Premier League, and the set pieces aren't including penalties, so, you know, chuck penalties into that mix, but from corners and free kicks, it's like 27.5% of all Arsenal's goals came from either a corner or a free kick last season. That's an incredible stat. An absolutely incredible stat for a team that basically are challenging for the title. You know, you'd think they'd have a lot more goals, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, we all know the situation around Arsenal and, you know, needing number 9, and they've got that this season. But it seems to me like Arteta has evolved as a manager from when he first went to Arsenal. He kind of adopted the Pep Guardiola, the tiki-taka football, you know, the free-flowing, the high press, pass, death by a million passes to the opposition. That's what Pep took with him. Sorry, that's what Arteta took with him from Pep when they were together at Man City. And he obviously couldn't get over the line by doing that. He didn't have the players, didn't have the squad. So as Arsenal have evolved, Arteta's style has evolved. And he's been heavily reliant, and it came to fruition last season and also this season, about the set pieces. And this season, obviously they drew the game today, so they've scored 10 goals. And out of those 10, 5 of them have come from set pieces. So again, that tells you how much Arsenal are depending on set pieces to win games of football. I think against Liverpool, you know, neither team really kind of did anything. It was a set piece that decided that game. Ultimately, that one went against Arsenal. And today, obviously, Arsenal got the goal late on, but other than that, they never really looked like challenging City. They never looked like a team that was going to score don't get me wrong, first half I thought they was pretty shit, to be honest. They didn't have many chances. I think Donnarumma palmed one away at his near post from Madueke, but other than that, there wasn't really anything from Arsenal. You know, they huffed and puffed, but they never blew the City house down. Absolutely not. They barely put a scratch in the wall. Second half, they made the changes. Saka and Eze came on, and I dare say for the first 20 minutes, I'll give them 20 minutes. The first 15 minutes, they definitely played a lot better. There was a lot more of a bigger threat. They got in behind City a couple of times. They played a couple of nice balls across the box. No one got on the end of it. City either got a block on it or a little deflection to take it away from the Arsenal players. And Arsenal just couldn't break them down. And this is what makes me think, are they just absolutely that much relying on a set piece to beat teams? And I've got to say that if that is the case, then Arteta is never going to win any of the top, well, probably never of any trophies really. Playing that way, you have to adapt. You have to change your playing style. You've seen Pep do it, as I alluded to at the start of this video. You know, we all know that City struggled last season. He's brought new coaching staff, new backroom staff into City, freshened it up. And you can see the patterns, you can see how their styles evolved, you can see how they've got a different way of playing now. Arsenal haven't really changed much from last season, and albeit last season didn't get you anything, didn't get you any silverware, no nothing. So I think Mikel Arteta needs to kind of wake up and smell the coffee a little bit here and realise that if he's going to beat Pep, if he's going to beat Slot, if he's going to win the Champions League, he has to have different styles. He has to be able to adapt mid-game. He has to be able to change it whilst he can physically see that the game is not going their way and they're lacking in the final third. Arsenal fans, let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the game as a whole? I thought it was a good game. I thought it was a good battle. Two top teams, you know, going for it. But do you think you need a little bit more in terms of how you're creating chances? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. I'll catch you in a bit.